Going on? My name is Dustin. I'm 36 years old. I was born and raised in Newark, California. I've been out here in Modesto, I'd say about 7 years now with my family. Um, I've been clean and sober for about 3 years now. I'll be 3 years April. Uh, it's one thing I gotta say, man. I've been saved for about 3 years, been following the Lord, and I gotta tell you, there's one thing that I've learned from it. It's that the gospel is real and that there's freedom in Jesus. I always thought people were just, you know, not playing around, but like that wasn't for me. You know, all that God stuff, all that Jesus, like whatever, man. Like miss me with all that stuff. I just didn't want to hear any of it. I wanted to go out, just do what I'm doing, do with the things that the world asking me to do. You know, get girls, be influenced by music, especially, and just looking up to people that all they did was just get high all day and go out and make money and just do a bunch of freaking nonsense stuff that ain't gonna last. Um, Rewind a little bit. Like I said, I was born and raised in Newark, California, and I had a single mom, only child growing up. Saw my dad on and off, every holiday or every other weekend, something like that. Whenever it kind of worked out. Had some good runs and some bad runs, as far as seeing my dad and all that. But God rest his soul, he's not with us anymore. But you know, that's a whole nother thing we could talk about. But so I was an athlete in high school, worked out a lot, played sports. I don't remember really like doing drugs, drank like every now and then. It wasn't anything, and I'd say, I drank all through high school. I didn't do that. I was more focused on fitness and chasing girls and things like that, which both I were good at. But so I got out of high school, and that's kind of when it all started, man. I got bored. I didn't have a plan or anything after high school. I just couldn't wait to get out, and that's just kind of how it was. And I just started hanging out with the wrong crowd. The friends that I did have in high school, we kind of just started to do other things, stay out late and just party and really just not focus on any type of future goals or anything like that. Just more live for the moment. That got, pretty heavy, as the years went on, in and out of relationships, toxic ones, that weren't really fueled by anything good. Just a lot of drugs and lust and things like that. But it's all that stuff has got me to where I am today. I'm able to talk to people that have experienced some things that I've experienced and kind of gone through the things that maybe I've gone through. I could help somebody be able to talk to them. I met my wife downtown Livermore. Right? Everybody knows about downtown Livermore. It gets cracking. I was 26 when I met my wife. She was a little bit younger. And, we just kind of hit it off, and we don't think we've missed a couple days apart in the past 11 years, But, I could say back then I didn't appreciate her and I didn't realize how I should love somebody or even how to. That started with trying to figure out how to love myself. But anyways, so we had a baby, and it just, I got a job. I was commuting a lot. We moved out here to Modesto. I was commuting to the Bay Area, so that just turned into a whole lot of driving and sometimes not coming home because I'd work late. I'd stay at my relative's house out in Pleasanton. I would stay out there at night, just sometimes not come home, because the drive and all that. And that just kind of led into really just anything that could kind of numb myself, really be drinking or doing drugs or something. Just something to have fun and just get me through the night. That kind of lifestyle that I had before I had a family and I was married, I kind of just rolled over into that. And, but did that, I mean, for a few years, and it really just got kind of out of control. I mean, you start with just doing minor things, and that's not enough, so you just keep going and going, you know. So I got introduced to meth, and that was on right there. I wondered why I was wasting all that money on coke. As soon as I met that stuff, man, it just kind of took over my life, and I was still able to function. I was still able to go to work. I don't think I was doing a very good job, but I guess I was able to hide it well. But that slowly but surely just kind of tore me apart. I was just kind of done. I was just done with myself, and done with lying and hiding from people, and everyone thinking I was this like great dad that was always around, and this great husband. And deep down, I just hated myself. I hated waking up in the morning. I hated going to bed because I knew I had to wake up. But so I took off one day. I had enough of that stuff. I didn't want to do it anymore, and I was like, you know, I'm either gonna die, I'm gonna go to prison to get better, or I was just gonna try to start a new life, just full of drugs and pleasure and just nonsense, you know. So I left, and I didn't come back for not like a long period, but it was a couple of days, and I remember being out. I was in my truck that I took off with. It was my wife. She canceled the credit cards, and you know, she was already probably trying to call the police and all that stuff. And I was down to nothing. I had a couple bucks, I had a whole bag of meth, and it's really all I needed. You know, was whatever's going to happen was going to happen. So I remember sitting in some driveway behind something or whatever, and I had the pipe in one hand and drugs in the other hand, and I said, God, if you're real, you got to show me, 'cause I can't do this anymore. And so anyways, I ended up coming home. My wife was bugging me, and I just this voice in my head just kept telling me to just go home. Everything will be all right. Everything will be cool. I didn't know what that voice was, but it kept pushing me. So I went home, and I remember laying in my bed at night with my wife, and I remember my heart started beating real fast. It was just like coming out of my chest. My wife looked at me. She just thought I was shaking the bed, and I wasn't shaking the bed. It was my heart. It was just beating out of my chest, and I felt this pain, this knife right through my chest. And I just remember taking a deep breath, and I heard this voice. That voice told me, read the Bible. I'm trying to breathe. I'm pain in my chest. Read the Bible. So I grabbed my phone. I had the Bible app on my phone for whatever reason. I thought my Bible app was like a good luck charm or something to me at the time. You know, something my grandma told me about, and you know, all that. Christian high school, you know, was in the back of my mind. Let's keep the Bible near. It'll keep me safe, for however it does that, you know. So I grabbed my phone. I threw my phone at my wife, and I said, read the Bible. So what's wrong? I don't know. I think I'm having a heart attack or something. So I'm breathing, and I hear her start reading, and I open my eyes, and the room is breaking up. The room's just breaking up into these little boxes with thousands of colors in these boxes. And the room's just breaking up, and I see these just giant figures, black figures, just around me, like coming towards me, and I'm trying to, I don't know what the heck's going on. And I see these bright lights, green and yellow and white, and they're just attacking these dark figures. And what's going on here? I roll out of bed, I'm crawling. I can hear my wife in the back, like way behind me. Off in the distance, I hear her praying, saying these Bible verses. I don't know what she's saying. And I'm crawling, and there's just nothing around me. There's just this quietness, and I can hear my wife way far off just praying, and I hear this voice, and it tells me, look at the light. What are you talking about? I said, what? And the voice said, look at the light. Looking up, there's this light off in the distance, this bright light that has like emotion coming from it, and this feeling coming from it that I never experienced before. Don't know what it is, and I just start going towards this light, like this crazy speed, like you're traveling through space or something, like one of them old movies, just I put my head down, and the voice says, Dustin, look at the light. I look up and just, this light just engulfs me with this blanket of love and this caringness and this peace around it. I can't understand. I can't explain it. This peace around it. And I'm just kind of trapped in this, and I'm just breathing it in. It's breathing air on me. I'm breathing it in, and I'm exhaling, and I'm breathing it back in, and it's like I'm coming back to life. I'm coming to life, just in this light, and it's just beautiful. I remember just sitting in that light, and I'm just taking it in. It's just this, sounds like rushing water coming around me, and this peace, though. I remember looking down, and then bam, I was right back in my body, and I was weeping uncontrollably, sobbing. My wife screaming at me, what are you doing? What the hell's going on? I'm crying. Then I started laughing uncontrollably. I don't know what's so funny. I'm just laughing. And my wife, she's freaking screaming at me, and I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I'm just so happy. I don't know what's going on. And she's like, you got to write that down. I'm like, what down? I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened, man. But I can tell you right now, from that point on, I never doubted that there was something out there that cared for me, that has been watching me my whole life, that had a plan for me, that had that love I was always seeking, that fatherly love that I never had. It covered me. It covered me from head to toe. And at the time, I didn't really know what the heck happened, but I knew that that I needed to get in that Bible and see what exactly happened, because I knew that I seen a light, and something told me to look at the light. I now know that God is this untouchable light that has come in, that has had prophets and people in the Bible just be in the presence of this light, and they can't look at it. Their face is flat to the ground, and there's that peace that comes over them, right? So I know that Jesus Christ has always been there for me. He's been watching me before I was born, when I was being formed in my mother's womb, and all that stuff that I went through as far as the drugs and the dad and the sexual. What do you call that, like lust problems and all that stuff, man. He's been with me through that, all the near-death experiences, doing stupid stuff, growing up. I don't have time to say everything that I've been through, but I do know that ever since then, I haven't been the same, and I've been pushing for God ever since then. It's not this easy, it's not an easy ride. The Bible doesn't say it's going to be an easy ride, but it says that my grace is sufficient for you. My strength is made perfect in your weakness. So I live off of that. And if the Son has set you free, you are free indeed. I stand here free today. I live free today. Do I fall? Absolutely. A prisoner can go back to prison. It's up to him to stay free. That's it, man. I hope one day that anybody watching this, we can have a conversation. And just know that God's always there for you. He's always been there for you. And he loves you so much. And he has a plan for you. And it might take your entire life to figure out what that plan is, but it's okay. That's just how great God is. You'll never understand it. But he'll keep giving you little bits to feed off of. Just stay close to him every day. Get brothers to be around. Get rid of them old friends that don't have anything to do with life. They just speak death into you, doing stupid stuff that isn't eternal. It's not worth it, man. That's it. Jesus.